Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Murdoch DeFi YouTube channel. And just like every week, things happen so quick in DeFi, and we always have so much stuff to talk about. So this is like our normal weekly update video where I cover all the projects that I'm personally invested in, give you guys some updates so that way you can get some better information if those happen to be projects that you yourself are also invested in. So today we're going to be talking about, we have some new information about StableFund. We have quite a bit of information to cover as it pertains to Horde, Prosperity Gem Ventures, True Seekers, Optimus. I probably have some hot takes when it comes to Optimus, so we'll talk about that as well. And then, of course, Momentum, which has been delivering without any drama, which has been nice, which has been really, really nice. I'm sure that a ton of you can relate to that. But first, before we go and jump into all of those projects that we're going to be discussing today, what I would like to do is go ahead and pick the winner for last week's video. If you don't know, we do a giveaway on our giveaway for $50 in BUSD on each one of these weekly videos. So if you want to participate in this week's, all you have to do is drop a comment below and then include your MetaMask or your OX wallet in the comment as well. And then, like we're going to do right now, we're going to go ahead and pick a comment from last week's video. So here is that video. Let me filter based on OX, and we're going to filter duplicate users. So what we're going to do this week, oops, something went wrong. Let me see here. Let's try this again. Weird. It's not allowing me to pull it. Okay, so since that's not working, what I'm going to go ahead and do is just scroll down here, and we are going to have this guy be the winner. I know that this is not optimal, but congratulations to you. If you are this person that left this comment, make sure to send me a message over on Discord. Here's my Discord right here. Just shoot me a message on Discord and I'll get that sent right over to your wallet. Cool. I wonder why this is not working. Regardless, let's go ahead and jump right into it, right? So we have StableFund. They recently did an AMA, and it was a lot of there. I mean, I don't really think that there was too much new information. I know that they had some information coming about their card and how you're going to be able to use SFUSD to be able to purchase things from that card or through that card. And then I know that there was a little bit of a pushback or a delay when it comes to the debit card that they are going to be implementing for V2. They did cut off the time frame where you could make a decision on whether you wanted to stay with your refund, if that's what you had opted for originally, or roll over into V2 based on them releasing the current information that you're seeing here on the screen. I myself, like I discussed in the last video last week, have decided to go ahead and participate in V2. They've been doing some very, very interesting things. They did announce that they are getting audits done by True Seekers, which to me is interesting. I know Blue and Dow King pretty well, and they've mentioned to me that they did see some of their financials that were going on in the backgrounds. They said that a lot of trading has been going on. I know that there has been some information shared within the StableFund Telegram as it pertains to them releasing information on trades that they've made. So, I mean, that's all good stuff that I like to see. Overall, I just really hope that they can nail this and be able to deliver V2 and turning it into something that V1 was not, right? So overall, I'm pretty excited for the launch of V2. I believe they're going to be starting to implement things on the 15th. I believe it goes live on the 15th. So next week, which is exciting again. Again, if you've opted for refunding, you're going to be given that refund in SFUSD, and then you'll be able to swap for whatever tokens that you want to swap for, right? I'm still curious if they're going to let people into V2, like new investors that say weren't in stable fund in the beginning, or even people that opted for a refund have created a new account and want to roll that into or try to start into V2 once they launch that. I'm still uncertain if they're going to be opening that up to everybody, right? Or just people that have agreed to switch from V1 to V2. But overall, pretty cool information from them. Speaking of truth seekers, I made a video last week about truth seekers, kind of a deep dive into why I think what they're doing is desperately needed in the crypto and DeFi space. They're trying to be the next Cerdit auditing company. However, they're implementing a bunch of other tech. They did have their pre-sale last week. I'll tell you that I put in about $10,000. Well, not about. I put in $10,000 into the pre-sale. That launches today at, I believe, 4 p.m. EST. And True Seekers is also getting ready to do an AMA in the Stable Fund Telegram here in about 20 minutes. So I'm going to be tuning into that. But I wanted to get this video out there so that way you know that you could tune in and catch the AMA with True Seekers in the Stable Fund Telegram. But also to, if True Seekers was one of the pre-sales that you got into, then it's important to know that they're going to be launching today. They ended up not going with Kaido Swap. I think that there was some timeline issues, so they've decided to just straight up launch on Pancake Swap, which to me doesn't really make a difference. But they're supposed to be airdropping those pre-sale tokens or those tokens today before the launch, which is good to see or good to hear. We haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I will let you know how that unfolds for me as far as my position goes. What else do we have? Prosperity Gem Ventures. So since the last video I made, they went ahead and changed their name from Prosperity Gem Mining to Prosperity Gem Ventures. They are, I believe, yep. So they're on Binance Smart Chain. They're on Tron as well, USDT. And then they have just recently launched the new contract on Polygon as well. So a bunch of different blockchains that you can come in here and invest on. When they updated this UI, they did take away the referral sections, and I don't know if they stopped the referrals. I believe that they did, which is cool. Like that's something that that is commendable to me. But as you can see here, my total deposit $10,000. I initially started with 4,000. Got my ROI, put in 6K more because it was starting to do better. They're showing trades. They're showing things that is happening behind the scenes. They're being very transparent, which is good. They're starting to build the trust of the community. I know that that's the case for me. That's how I feel. But as you can see here, total withdrawn, $6,132. So getting closer and closer to that initial principal deposit of $10,000. Every 7 days, I'm just coming here and claiming. I'm not compounding. That's one thing that I've learned over the last few months is that I'm not trying to compound anything until I get my initial principal deposit out. That is the same, mantra that I'll be taking into Stable Fund V2 with me. I'm only going to be claiming. I'm not going to be compounding because that is proven not to work out for a lot of these like daily ROI platforms, right? So that's my thing moving forward with anything. I'm just putting my initial principal in, claiming every day until I hit my return on investment, and then from there I'll make a decision on a time frame as far as like claiming and redepositing. But for the case of Prosperity Gem Ventures, I am just claiming and not redepositing right now. So momentum has been doing extremely well. And one thing that's really nice to see, and I mentioned this early on in the beginning of the video, is that we don't really have any drama with these guys. Like everything that they're doing is on the up and up. They're very transparent with what's going on, how the protocol is working, how everything is functioning. And it's good to see, right? It's good to see. Maybe that's because they're not super big yet. I do imagine that as they start to grow, of course, you're going to attract a bunch of people that are just trying to, I mean, I guess we could use the word FUD. I think that there's a very fine line between asking legitimate questions and just being nasty and wanting to FUD a project just because you weren't able to get into it in the beginning, or for whatever reason. There's those types of YouTubers out there, and it is what it is, right? That's the cool part about YouTube, is that you can create a video and you can have an opinion on literally anything, right? So if your opinion is negative on something, then you can share that with whoever watches your videos, and that's one of the best parts about YouTube, right? And I think that if you're only watching YouTube videos where, you know, YouTubers are talking positively about protocols and things like that, I think that that's kind of like an echo chamber, right? You're only hearing the types of things that you want to hear. So for me, I do like to also watch people or listen to people that talk about the negative things, right? Because sometimes they bring stuff to light that you might not have thought about, right? And if you're in a project that is doing extremely well, let's just say it just launches and it's doing well, you know, it's very easy to push a lot of those potentially negative opinions or thoughts by the wayside and not listen to those, and then cloud your vision on your decision-making process when it comes to how you're playing or how you're gambling with any of these DeFi protocols, right? Because at the end of the day, we all know that these things typically don't last long. When I'm speaking generally about projects in crypto and DeFi, and you know, it is a gamble. It's just like casino. You just have to know how to play the game to the best of your ability. And I've found, at least for myself, is that, you know, when I'm only focusing on positives of a project, that could potentially lead me to places where I end up losing money, right? So I'm trying to learn and take a broader approach to how I'm researching specific projects, who I'm choosing to listen to, and just keeping my mind and eyes open for, even, like I said, those negative things that could potentially impact your position in a specific protocol or a specific trade, right? But when we talk about momentum, to catch you up on, if you're new to the channel, to catch you up on where this started, I initially started at, let me see, I know I have it on the charts here. What was the price at when I got in? So the price was at $1.36 when I got in. So I would say almost a month ago now. And I initially bonded in for a 7-day bond and also a 14-day bond, $2,500 in each position. So my initial deposit was about $5,000. There's pros to bonding as opposed to just buying the mass token on the market. Obviously, there's specific taxes associated with that. You can read all about that in their documentation section. They've done a great job at putting all that information together, so it's easy to understand, because this is a little bit more complex than let's just compare it to Optimus, right? It's a little bit more complex than that. You're having to do more than just hold tokens in your wallet, right? There's taxes associated with buying and selling. There's benefits to compounding, or there's benefits to bonding. That's the route that I chose to go. But as you can see here, the total value of my mass tokens, which again was initially that $5,000, is up to $6,800. We've claimed almost $500 in BUSD dividends, so I'm up decently on my position from my initial sorry about that, from my initial investment into the Momentum protocol. So if we just pull up the price chart here, you can see where I got in on November the 9th. So yeah, like I said, almost exactly a month to the day that I've been in this protocol specifically. But $1.36 is where we get in, and now we're hovering around $1.58, $1.60 in that range. But you can see the chart, it's beautiful. The protocol's, to my knowledge, working exactly like it's supposed to be. And they did recently just launch on Avalanche too. So pretty cool stuff. Again, if this is something that you're thinking about, just make sure to do your own research. I'm simply sharing this stuff as it pertains to projects that I'm in. just to kind of document my journey in crypto and DeFi. By no means am I advocating for any of the projects that I'm talking about here today. Just simply sharing with you what I am doing. But let's move on to Optimus. So lots and lots and lots of stuff has been going on in Optimus. If we could pull up the price chart here real quick, let me find it. OPT3, it's down at 26 cents. So what have I been doing? I sold all my tokens. I sold all my tokens for what I mean, maybe not a loss since the beginning, because I've always been kind of buying and selling, dollar cost averaging, selling on price pumps. But this recent position, I think I sold around 50 cents up here and decided to get out. They did have an AMA. Maybe it wasn't there. Maybe it was over here. But they did have an AMA, kind of like a panic AMA when the price was dropping over here. And one thing that I hate hearing from not only from DeFi Dude, but also like the admins or the moderators in the Optimus Discord is when they talk about, you're still earning 1% a day. Well, I mean, that's all good and well if the price is doing what it's supposed to doing, or the bot is performing the way it's supposed to do and keeping the price at a sustainable level or within a range. But when we have massive sell-offs like this, where we are down, let me zoom out a little bit here. But when we're down, 50, 60, 75% on the price that, some people got in at, when we're talking about up here, when people were getting at $1.50, $1.60, and now the price is down 75%, then that 1% a day doesn't really mean anything because you're down so much, right? And for me, that there's to be honest, the reason why, or the decision behind, or the reasoning behind the decision I made to sell all my Optimus tokens was during their AMA. I believe it was over the weekend. Maybe I'm inaccurate, but the most recent AMA that they did after the one they did with True Seekers. So I mean, that was a whole another thing too, with their True Seekers AMA. You potentially had people taking money out of Optimus, selling Optimus tokens to go in and get into the True Seekers AMA, which I'm sure that's what a lot of people did. I'm sure that was part of the problem, but I'm sure that the other part of the problem was that people are now understanding that not only is the token down, but they've decided to go ahead and move forward with this halving and cut the rewards from 1% to 0.5%. I still don't know when that's supposed to take place or be implemented yet, but still, I'm sure that doesn't make everybody happy. But pertaining to the reason why I decided to get out, so I have a good friend. He's actually been in the premium Discord for some time now. He goes by Pocket Aces. He's also a fellow YouTuber. And, when we listen to these AMAs, there is always a plethora of people that are just like, oh my God, thank you so much. But it's so like telling, DeFi Dude and the moderators and everybody like, thank you so much. I've made money, blah, blah, blah. They're doing great and all this stuff. But the reality of the situation is that is so far from what's actually going on, that it's kind of annoying to hear those types of people get on stage and ask questions in the AMA, not really ask questions or give any advice on what they should do or suggestions or anything, but just come up there to like qual the team behind the project. So getting back to Pocket Aces, he was one of the first persons that I heard come up onto the stage and really have some good criticisms for DeFi Dude, and really talk about things that he could be doing better. He suggested a bunch of different ideas to potentially help the protocol. And DeFi Dudes his response was cool. Thanks for the input. Like I don't know. It just rubbed me completely the wrong way. But for me, that was kind of the nail in the coffin to get out of the protocol. I know that they just recently, I mean, I don't know if I don't think it's a partnership rather, or really, but there is I think it's called Optimus Fund or OPT Fund. It's essentially an ROI DApp, and it's kind of interesting that they've pushed this. Now, granted, this is something that helps burn Optimus tokens. There is a 7% tax though, so if you go to deposit, you could potentially earn, I think, up to 2% right now on your Optimus tokens, and if by putting them into this OPT fund protocol, which is essentially an ROI DApp. But it's kind of frustrating because early on, when DeFi Dude launched this project, he was talking about YouTubers, you know, just shilling ROI dApps and all this stuff. And then now this is something that is talked about pretty heavily within their community. So like I said, 7% buy tax or 7% deposit tax, 1% gets burned. So 1% of the deposited OPT gets burned. 6% goes to a dev fee. So needless to say, the developer behind that project is probably doing pretty well and is getting a bunch of free advertising, right, from the Optimus community and from DeFi Dude, which I feel is kind of interesting. But nonetheless, for me, like I said, that was those things were kind of like the nail in the coffin for me. That's why I've decided to get out, and I do not think that I will be jumping back in unless something crazy happens. Because at the end of the day, I'm not here in crypto and DeFi to make friends. I'm not in here to join religions or cults. I'm here to make money. So by all means, if there's some sort of catalyst in LPT3 or any contract that they launch in the future and the price starts to pump again, I might look at it as a potential opportunity for myself to get in and make a little bit of money, because at the end of the day, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm in crypto. That is why I'm in DeFi. That's why I follow along with all these projects. That's why I document my journey. But that being said, guys, I think that covers everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. I'm sure. Oh, no. Horde. We have a bunch of information to talk about here. So Horde has made a bunch of updates. Well, at least one update to their dApp or their platform here. And this is something that if you are invested in Horde, this is something that if you have not done yet, you need to do it soon before December 16th, because they're closing after that. But we'll go ahead and go through here. I'll let you know how I chose to play this, and then we'll go from there. So migration is live. Again, closing 16th December. Please carefully read, blah, blah, blah. Claim all. With one click, you can claim all existing and future Horde token rewards from all plots. Once claimed, you can either lock the Horde tokens in the exit ecosystem or the Vault plus DEX distribution. In whatever amounts you choose, once tokens are locked, they cannot be unlocked. So make sure that if you're making this decision, that you make it fairly and make it fairly quick, right? So the exit ecosystem, if you choose amount of Horde tokens to be locked and take your share of the outstanding liquidity in BUSD shortly after the migration period has ended, including a 10% tax going into vaults, the estimated exit price is around $2.40, as explained in their Medium article. They did put a Medium article out. So I believe they have a little over $1 million in liquidity that is going to be used to give that money back to people that want to go the exit ecosystem route, but at a rate of $2.40 as opposed to what the regular Horde token price was at around $100, right? So myself, I went ahead and claimed all my tokens, almost 560 tokens. If I wanted to get out, you know, you're getting $2.40 per token, which is nothing compared to the amount of money that I put in to the ecosystem. So I've decided to go the Vault and Dex distribution route. So you can choose any amount of Horde to lock tokens and receive continuous stablecoin payouts from vaults, plus a share of the 15% of the total supply of the Dex tokens. Non-ROI'd wallets get the majority of the Dex allocation, so keep that in mind. Again, you can find more information as it pertains to this in their Medium article here. So all future revenue from Horde ecosystems, such as the liquidity management, LMS, Wasteland Defense game Launchpad, will be paid to vault holders. Special note here, NFT scenes have a separate DEX allocation and have to be kept in the same wallet after the migration ends in order to qualify for the DEX airdrop. So that's what I chose to do. I went ahead and deposited all of my tokens here in the vault because the reality is like this is like less than $2,000 worth of tokens at that $2.40 price. So I've made the decision to dump all those tokens into the vault and DEX and just see how it goes, right? Because, you know, that $1,500, $2,000 that I would be getting if I sold these and exited the system is nothing compared to, like I said, what I actually put into it. So the hopes of this doing well, who knows how this is going to go, but I guess I'm along for the ride. And as you can see here, the total deposited tokens, you're looking at 169,000 on the Exit ecosystem side and 336,000 on the Vault and Dex side. So I'm glad that I did not forget about that. But if you wanted to come in here, if you haven't done so already, if you're invested in this protocol before they shut everything down, you can hit claim all. It's going to claim all the tokens from all your plots, which you can see here over on the plot manager. So all of these tokens that I would have claimed, time permitting, I've now been able to claim and deposit that into the Vault and Dex. Cool. I'm glad that I was able to catch that before I ended the video. That being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.